Hello, everybody. Hey, guys. Welcome to the very last experiment that you're going to be doing. Now, this one is my favorite. I would say the intuition experiment is the most challenging. I would say the receive experiment is difficult for women, one that will take a while. But I would say the bold experiment, being of my personality, which is kind of blunt and no bullshit, is probably my favorite because it really allows for people to speak their truth. All right, so just a little recap. I'm Shannon. I'm your money mindset mentor for living a life full of joy and ease through changing your relationship to wealth. And welcome to the bold experiment. All right, let's get to it. Okay, Queen. So it's time for you to now start making bigger leaps towards being booked out in your business. Saying something that you solely believe in, stand for, and can get behind. Okay, so really the whole motto of this lesson and the whole motto I want you to follow with this experiment. Again, these are experiments, so these are just really easy, fun activities. There's no pressure to be perfect. There's no pressure to do it right. This is just a fun, easy experiment to see what happens if you, here's the motto, stop being boring and start being bold. All right. So typically it's something that you've been scared to say, but it's something you truly believe in when I'm talking about being bold. All right. So there is something that you have been scared to say, but it's something that you firmly believe in, you stand for, and you can get behind. You've been afraid to express it though. Okay. Now, all of us have something that we stand for in our businesses. This is why we have our businesses. This is why we started them, because at the base of it is a deep passion and burning desire for this thing that we are building, creating, or the type of service you give, right? But we hold back on expressing it, on expressing, what we firmly believe about our businesses, what we either believe about our services, because we're afraid of hurting other people's feelings. Now, this is the great thing that women have been blessed with, is that we care so deeply for others. But it can also be the thing that kind of brings us down, right? Because we don't speak boldly about what we believe in for fear of hurting other people's feelings. So for example, let's say you're a fitness coach and man, you just really hate that fucking keto diet trend, right? Like, let's say you hear it and you're just like, man, that stupid diet. You just don't want anybody to follow it, right? Or you just think it's not a good thing, all right? So let's say you hate the keto diet trend, but you got like 5 Facebook friends who might be either they're health coaches or they sell keto products, and they're doing it and they're in your feed. So if you were to say something like that, it might hurt their feelings, right? But you truly believe that following the keto diet is not the way to get in shape or to be healthy. So you don't say anything and you dance and you tiptoe around the topic of firmly saying like, hey, those diet trends aren't really the way to go. But you don't say anything and you don't call it out because you don't want to hurt people's feelings, right? So one of my clients was afraid of being bold with her audience. And once we were able to pull what was the truth for her, what she fully believed in, what she stood for, she was able to create $28,000 in income within 3 months of working with me. Just from firmly speaking something that wasn't boring, but it was bold and it was what she truly believed in, okay? So what it could also be when I'm talking about saying something bold is being bold also means sharing a piece of yourself, right? Sharing a part of yourself that might be really scary to share, okay? It might be something, a stumbling block you had to come across to success, something you had to overcome to be successful, a time in your life when, something wasn't working out or you weren't happy with your weight or whatever, you hit a rock bottom. And you had to overcome that part of your life in order to get where you are now. But you don't want to share that part of you because it would mean being real. It would mean killing that perfectionist side of you, right? And you don't want anybody to know that, hey, you aren't perfect, right? Who wants anybody in their world and potential clients or even strangers or other friends to know that you're actually a human being? You don't want people to know, so you hold back and you act as if you are perfect. And you might not even think you are, but by holding back and not sharing these stories and these things that you had to learn, you come off as perfect, right? So it could be you're bold. The thing that stops you from being boring and gets you to be bold could be your story, sharing that piece of you and being vulnerable. I once wrote a post that I was really scared to share with people, talking about how I called 2017 my shitstorm of the year. It really was my shitstorm of the year. It was just a really, really big learning lesson for me. But once I got past 2017, and once I realized all of those learning lessons, I put them together in one Facebook post. And from that one Facebook post that I was really scared to share, I added over 500 people to my email list just from being bold and just from killing that perfectionist tendency in me. All right. So being a human being is what connects you actually to your potential clients. So the more you kind of hold things at arm's length, and the more you try to portray that you are this perfect person, right, the further you actually push potential clients away. So being a human being and being relatable will magnetize clients to you who pay in full. But the more you try to hold people at arm's length and make sure they don't know anything about you or that no, you got it all together, the more you actually push people away. When you allow yourself to show up boldly and to kill the perfectionist side of you and to be yourself, right? To love yourself so much that you show up totally as yourself, right? You get to, when you do this, this is the reason why people are able, why I was able to add 500 people to my email list, why my client was able to make $28,000 in 3 months after we were able to show her up boldly. Because what happens is you skip over the know, like, and trust factor. Now, we have all heard of that. You might have even heard of the 7 points, right? You need someone to see your stuff 7 times before they can buy from you. You need someone to get the know, like, and trust factor before they can buy from you. So you might have heard that, right? You can skip over that whole thing, that whole bullshit of people need to see you 7 times before they buy from you, or people need to do this thing 7 times before they buy. You can skip over all of that. The whole know, like, and trust factor, you can go right past that when you actually show up boldly. When you stop trying to be a perfectionist and hide pieces and parts of you, right? You can skip over that whole thing and just get right to getting a client that pays in full from one Facebook post, okay? So you don't have to take the time to build up all of these things before people can buy from you. They can buy today, but you have to be bold and you have to stop being boring, okay? All right. So another one of my clients wrote one post and got a client that signed up within 24 hours. So she bypassed, and the client paid in full. She bypassed all of that know, like, and trust, the 7 points. This girl saw her once, saw the post once, talked on the phone with her, booked, and paid in full. Okay, so this is very, very possible for you too to get a client who sees one of your bold posts that pays in full. Okay, so if you are a person who also is a perfectionist and you also tend to censor yourself a lot, right? So maybe you're writing a Facebook post and then you're like, backspace, backspace, backspace. Can't say that. What if this person sees this? What if this person sees it? What if my mom sees it? What if my aunt sees it, right? They're all going to be offended, okay? So if you censor yourself a lot, you worry what others will think of you. You never want to hurt somebody's feelings because we want everybody to like us, which you don't. The more you are actually trying to get everybody to like you, the further your 6-figure year will get from you, okay? If you worry when you write a social media post that you're going to offend someone, like an old coach, a friend, or someone else, or you get terrified to leave someone out of your marketing, so you make it very general, right? So you keep it very vague, like you write posts like mindset will get you to success. Like, well, okay, yeah, great, thanks. That was super vague. I'm going to skip right over that post. It's boring me, right? Or you write a post that says, here's your top 5 tips to make your content stand out. I am bored by that, okay? You have to make a statement and speak your truth for what you believe in. And you have to do that even knowing some people will get offended, but one other person or maybe several people will not be offended by it, who will be magnetized to it. Like I said, one post, 500 people to my email list, one post, a client paid in full, right? So that type of vague content doesn't attract your ideal client, right? Speaking boldly does. It's not helping anyone either when you keep things very vague or you write things about like tips, like those don't help anybody. And it's not making you separate yourself from the competition, because I read thousands and thousands of Facebook posts a day all about this vague type of content, mindset and success, and an inspirational post here, and here's some tips here, right? And they all start to blend together. I can't see you stand out when you're saying the same thing that like Janice, Joyce, and Bobby and Robbie or whatever said that day. I can't see you stand out as a leader. So you have to stop being boring today and start being bold. All right? So here's my assignment for you. I want you to write a couple social media posts. This is your last assignment, last experiment. Remember, this is an experiment. This is something that is just totally like, if I write a couple bold posts, let's see what happens, okay? Let's see what happens if I do this thing, all right? No pressure, nothing like that. You don't have to immediately get a client. It's just, let's just see what happens if I do this, all right? So I want you to write a couple bold posts. Here's how to know if you're writing a bold post right. If you feel like you're a bitch when you're writing the post, you're doing it right. If you feel like you're being a jerk in some way, you're going to offend Susie, you're going to offend, you know, I don't know, whoever, right? I can't think of any other woman's names right now. If you feel like you're going to offend someone or something like that, you're probably writing it right then. Then you're probably doing it right. If you feel like a bitch, you're doing it right. All right? So everyone, this is it. This is the end of Broke to Booked Out Live. This was the last experiment. There were 4 experiments that I've shared with you. Again, mini experiments, no pressure, just coming in and seeing, hey, if I write a couple bold posts, if I write a couple posts that aren't vague, that are specific, that are truly saying what I want to say without worrying about, you know, how other people are going to feel about this, what will happen? The intuition experiment, if I step away from my computer and go to the park with my kid, what will happen, right? Will I come up with an inspired idea? So these are all just fun, playful experiments. And these are the 4 experiments that I have personally done. So I have done all of these experiments. And what they did was they took me from stuck at 2 to 3K a month. I had some 5K months here and there last year, to then hitting my $13,000 month like this, like incredibly quick. So all I did was these 4 experiments. These are the same 4 experiments that I also take my clients through. My clients now are creating $72,000 within 6 months. My other clients have created $28,000 in 3 months with me. These are very simple and quick shifts you can make today. All right? So what I want you to do is, if you want to learn more about my process and what I did exactly to go from making 2 to 3K a month stuck there, to then having a 13K month quickly, to now having 5K cash months every single month for the next couple months, what I want you to do is go to my webinar here. I'm going to put the link in the comments. Hey, Karen, go to my webinar here, and you can watch this webinar where I talk about the 3 shifts that I have made to go from stuck to explosive money months. Following these experiments, it is working for my clients. It will work for you, but will even work better is if you work with me one-on-one. All right, everybody, have a great weekend. Thanks so much for joining me. Bye.